Alright, welcome to another Train Sim World 2 video. In this video, I'm going to be taking the Class 377, as shown here, from Brighton to Lewes. And Lewes is kind of the halfway point between Brighton and Eastbourne, and also Brighton and Seaford, because there are basically two branch lines on the East Coast Way route. And I've decided, you know what, we're just going to go to Lewes. We're going to go for the halfway point so the video doesn't end up being too long. It's 20 minutes long, but that's not too bad. I'm setting up the train at the moment, the DSD and the AWS and so on. If you don't know what AWS is, that's the self-test alarm. I just cleared it. And if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it what it is in this video. I may have tried to explain it before. I've explained it sometimes in streams, so if you've missed those, then I'll just quickly tell you in this video. If you have watched those streams before and you know what AWS is already, then I do apologise for repeating myself on that subject. I'd also like to talk about an issue with the scenario designer itself. It's an issue that sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. I really like it. I like it much better when it doesn't happen. Let's just say that. But other than that, I haven't really experienced too many problems with it. They've fixed the whole red lights at stations thing for the most part. I did encounter it once before, but then I'm sort of thinking maybe that's my fault. So I'm going to do some further testing on the thing that I think is my fault, rather than the game itself's fault. So here's 377. I've been using this in streams for quite a while, and this video is a long time coming because I haven't yet showcased it in its own video, so here it is right now. It's a very nice, smooth locomotive to run. I'd say if you're a beginner at the game, this one's probably going to be easy for you to master. It really is quite simple. It really is just a case of accelerate and stop, really, and then just operating the doors. That's it. The AWS system, you don't need it on. You can have it on for more realism. DSD, you can have that on for more realism, but those are optional things, as they are with all of the trains that have those features enabled. Some of the trains do have them featured by default in some form or another, so if you get up out of your seat, the train will put on the brakes because you're out of your seat. And here's a lovely view coming over the viaduct there, with the sun setting in the background. Shows this sort of evening time because it's just nice and pleasant. I think probably going to be a bit more relaxing this way with this backdrop. The East Coast Way runs, as I said before, from Brighton to Eastbourne, and then there's also Brighton to Seaford you can do, which is quite nice, a little bit of variety there. It's interesting to deal with branch lines on a route such as this. It's a very nice route as well, very calming, relaxing. I like the fact it has AWS, so I can test all the AWS features on all the trains. And now you're about to see the issue that I'm talking about. I'll try my best to explain it. So we're approaching a station and we're going to stop at it. Now obviously the guidelines are in place as they should be, and so is the stop marker. But when we stop, I'd like you to take note of which doors I'm going to open. So the platform is clearly on the train's left side. I open the left doors, and then I open the right doors. So I open the right doors because I know the issue has happened. See, I've just closed the left doors, which means the passengers shouldn't be able to get onto the train, which means that message to lock the doors, or to, you know, load the passengers, should be reading unlock doors. But it's not. You see, the thing is that the doors, the station doesn't really recognise the doors correctly. So my doors on the left hand side are clearly closed, the ones on the right are clearly open, and it wants to think that the right hand side is the correct side for this station. It's not, it's on the left. So there we go, lock them, and well, there you go, we can move off again. Oh dear, that's not good at all. Now that isn't like a complete game changer for me. For people who are very obsessed about realism, that would probably be quite an annoying thing. And it seems to be an issue with the scenario designer, not the way I've set it up, because I've set this route up with a number of different scenarios, and some of them have been just fine. They've recognised which side of the platform the doors are supposed to open on, but some of them have just said, nope, I want to go on the opposite side. For some reason. I mean, there should probably be some sort of markers on the tracks themselves that the game sort of recognises, or on the platform, sorry. But no, apparently it doesn't seem to want to recognise that. You just hear the AWS go off. I'll mention what that is very quickly. AWS is a safety system that's intended to make the driver look for signals and pay attention to them. So if the signal in front of us is green, it means that when we pass over an AWS magnet which is embedded into the tracks, you'll see them along the way if you look at the tracks in front of us. There should be another one soon, I think. You'll hear a ding as we go over it, because it's green, and ding means yay, it's green, you can still go. If it's yellow, it will obviously set off an alarm, because yellow means, hey, slow down, you can still pass the signal, but slow down a bit. Expect the next signal to be about stopping. And then the red signal obviously goes off then, and that's prompting you to, hey, look at the signal, and if it's red, stop. So it's just a warning system to let the driver know that, hey, there's a signal ahead, you should pay attention to it, you need to do something. If it's green, then you really don't need to do anything. Only paying attention when the alarm goes off, and then you look, is it red or is it yellow? And then respond accordingly to whatever it says. That's basically what AWS is. DSD is driver. It's basically making sure that the driver is awake. There's usually a pedal in the cab or some sort of button, and then it will go off sometimes to ask you, hey, are you still awake? Are you still conscious? Are you still able to operate the train properly? And if you ignore both of these systems, they will automatically put on the brakes. So if AWS goes off as an alarm, then you've got about 5 seconds to press the button to clear it, otherwise it will slam on the brakes in emergency mode to make sure that the train is stopped, and DSD will also do the same. So yeah, if you've enabled AWS or DSD, watch out for those things, and it does work like that on British Railways in the modern day. So yeah, if you're a driver or just someone on a railway journey and you're just interested, that's how that works. It's a lovely view of the 377 from the front. I do really like driving this train because it's very smooth, and I just like it. It's hard to explain. It's a passenger train. Obviously we've got quite a few carriages on today. Can come in 4-car format or 8-car format, as per the game. And this is in Southern Network livery, I believe so, yeah. And the 377 isn't the only train you get in the East Coast Way DLC. You get the 66 in AWS, not AWS, EWS, which stands for English, Welsh and Scottish Railways. Thank you, DSD there. There are some magnets on the track that are energised permanently, so what that means is the system will recognise that this is something of a warning, and you basically, it's to check where you're still awake, and if you're approaching a particularly hazardous area, like say a major junction or something you need to watch out for. AWS will come on then, and then DSD also comes on now and then. It's pretty handy to have those. Very good safety systems in their own right. Do have some drawbacks, but I still think that that's perfectly fine. Now I did want to say a little bit about Southeastern High Speed because it is upcoming. It is coming in, well, it's going to be on the store on the 4th of February. Apparently console users will get it slightly earlier than people on PC, so that's good to hear. Sort of, not really. It doesn't really matter to me when or how early I might get something on the store to buy. Hopefully when it comes out I'll be able to pick it up on release day and then do a special stream to show you my experience with that DLC. Now the issue is going to happen again, please take note. If you didn't see before, you'll see now. So I clearly open the left doors, which is the correct side because the platform is on the left of us, but it doesn't register, so I have to unlock the right doors. That's really silly to me, but hopefully by the time the next update comes along they might have a fix for that. Maybe. I don't know if it's on the list. I'll have to probably check, because Dovetail Games does release a roadmap which includes things like fixes or things that they plan to fix, and they are taking note of issues with the game. Sometimes it may take them a while to get around to it, but I think that they're doing a good job as it is. It's nice that they're even letting us know when they're fixing something, so that's nice. I don't really keep up with the roadmaps though in much detail. I'm mostly interested in stuff like DLCs and expansions and new features, basically. But I can start checking that if I'm really confused about if there's an issue or when something's going to be fixed. So yeah, Southeastern High Speed, yeah, I mentioned I'm going to be picking that up. Hopefully on the release day I'll do a special stream with the experience, and we will be getting 2 new locomotives in that. And there is another locomotive that's planned to come as part of, kind of, not really. So the system goes that when you buy a DLC you get the locomotives that are included with that DLC, plus the route, plus the timetable for those locomotives, and special scenarios that you can do, pre-made missions by the developers where special things can happen. You might be taking a train all the way along the route for some kind of special event. Well, in the game, it'll tell you, hey, there's a special event going on, you're in charge of whatever train from wherever it is. And then the tutorials obviously come with that, and in the experience sort of stream, as it were, I'll be doing the tutorials for both the locomotives, the 375, which is basically the exact same train as this. Slight differences, tiny differences that you probably wouldn't notice unless I pointed them out. The only major difference that you'll see between this train and the 375 is the livery. So it's going to be in Southeastern livery, which is blue and yellow, basically. Which is nice. It'll give me another train to drive. It is practically the same as this though. And the 395, which is nicknamed the Javelin, and that's a high-speed train, very modern, probably going to be nice to drive. So I'll do the 2 tutorials for those locomotives, and then I'll try and do a service with each of them. Although the 375 we may skip because it's kind of the same as this one, and yeah, once you've seen the 377 driving, you've practically seen the 375, at least to my knowledge. There may be some more details and differences I'm not aware of, But yeah, I'm still going to be using these the 375 and 377. I'm still going to use it. I'm not going to put it to waste. It's just that I might skip on the 375 because you've already seen this running, haven't you? Pretty much. And there is another DLC locomotive. Now DLC locomotives, you need the relevant DLC in order to buy them and download them. So that's for the 495, which is another commuter train. It's like this, but not the same. Visual differences and lots of other stuff. Lots of differences with that one. They're both electric trains. They both use the third rail like this one does, but in the same breath, it is a new locomotive, and I do want to buy that when that comes out as well, although I'm not sure about a date on that. It says it's upcoming. That usually means it's probably going to be 2, maybe 3 weeks after Southeastern High Speed drops. Maybe it'll be the month after, so sometime in March maybe. But I want to pick that one up, so I'll save some money to definitely get that. I don't want to not get it because it is quite an important thing for me. How I'm going to be structuring videos is I'm going to be creating pre-made scenarios using the planning thing, the planning designing scenario planner, and then I'm going to assign a locomotive to it, and I'm going to drive that locomotive down that route. So what you're seeing right now is the results of that. I'm not going to do timetable mode unless I want to show off a specific feature that's only available then in a video. So timetable mode pretty much for me is something that I'd only really do in private off the camera. But for actual videos to YouTube, what I'm going to be doing is stuff using the scenario designer. And what I have is a spreadsheet on my laptop of all the routes that are currently made and set out, and then I'll keep working on those, and when one is ready for me to run, I'll run it with a locomotive that I'm going to choose. I'm also considering letting patrons for my Patreon choose what trains I drive and where from, or on what route basically. However, because my audience isn't really train enthusiast inclined, I might just kind of pick them on my own, maybe. I just wanted to give people an extra thing they can do. If they like a particular train, then I can drive it for them as part of a suggestion. If they're giving me money for my other projects, then I think it's only right that they get to choose things that happen in videos. Streams or videos, it could be either, really. I'll stream the longer journeys that I'm going to do. We are coming to the end of this particular video in Lewes, but the longest routes I will stream those. This isn't a long route by any means. This isn't really that far. It did take us 20 minutes, but still, I can think of longer routes than this one that I can do on stream. I've already done the East Coast Way quite a lot on stream, so yeah, that's that. Anyway, the issue's happening again. Oh dear. Hopefully in those videos that just doesn't happen. It might be just a crapshoot whether it does or it doesn't. But yeah, I've tried to avoid the issue. I can't find any way to avoid it. So if it happens during a video, I do apologise. You can go into the train, by the way. So this is what the inside of the carriages look like. Quite nice, actually. It doesn't look bad at all. And obviously the detail is brilliant. Detail is fantastic. Well done. And we'll be closing the doors. We can do that inside here. I'm just using the free camera mode. Look, even some signs that are properly done. So that is the end of today's video. I do hope you enjoyed watching the 377 run down the East Coast way and hearing about all the stuff that I have upcoming. I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully either be the Southeastern High Speed stream or another video showcasing the locomotives. See you around.